The storm had clawed its way across the Arizona territory like a beast unleashed, ripping shingles from rooftops and churning the red earth into a muddy slurry. It was on such a ravaged Thursday morning that the letter arrived, stamped with the heavy wax seal of Judge Elias Thornton. Wyatt Blackwood, standing on the weathered porch of his sprawling ranch house, felt the flicker of something raw and unfamiliar stir in his chest, hope, perhaps, laced with the bitter tang of suspicion. His hands, calloused from years of gripping reins and revolvers, had taken 15 lives in the name of rough justice, but now they steadied the parchment as he read the words again. Acceptance of his proposal for one of the judge's daughters. Why so quick? Wyatt's mind raced like a Mustang spotting a shadow. He'd heard whispers in the saloons of Tucson Thornton's ambitions crushed by Wyatt's damning testimony in that land-grab trial years back. The judge wasn't one to forgive, let alone offer a daughter in marriage. It smelled like a trap, baited with honeyed words and hidden barbs, much like the coyotes that lured prey into canyons with false promises of easy meat. Wyatt folded the letter, his blue eyes narrowing at the horizon where thunderhead still brooded. In the unforgiving Badlands, where monsoons could drown a man in minutes and droughts could wither his soul, alliances were as fragile as glass dot 300 yards away. In the opulent Thornton manor perched on a bluff overlooking the valley, Eliza Thornton moved like a ghost through her sparse bedroom. Her hands, toughened by secret labors in herb gardens and hidden ledgers, packed a few worn dresses and a leather-bound journal into a battered valise. Down the hall, laughter bubbled from the family parlor, her kin toasting with crystal glasses, their voice is sharp with glee. To Eliza's exile. Her father boomed, and Eliza froze, ear pressed to the cracked door, her heart pounding like war drums in the distance, inside the smoke-filled den, where the air hung heavy with deceit and the sharp bite of aged bourbon. Judge Elias Thornton lounged behind his massive desk. The proposal lay splayed before him like evidence in one of his rigged trials. He chuckled, a low rumble that echoed off oak-paneled walls, and passed the letter to his wife, Abigail. Her eyes, pale as winter frost, glittered with a vengeance that had simmered for years. After what Blackwood did testifying against you, costing that Senate seat, this is retribution. Elias, divine and delicious, Sophia, the eldest daughter, leaned against the marble fireplace, her auburn curls catching the firelight like flames themselves. She smirked, twirling a lock around her finger. You're really sending Eliza, father, the plain one, with her endless preaching about right and wrong? Wyatt expects beauty and breeding, not that. Abigail's voice sliced through the room like a bullwhip. Exactly the point, my dear. Blackwood humiliated your father in open court, made him a laughingstock before the governor. Now we serve him a thorn instead of a rose. He'll send her back in disgrace, and the scandal will cling to him like tar. Lydia, the middle sister, perched on a velvet settee in the shadows, giggled with malicious delight. Poor Eliza. She'll be ruined for good. No decent man will touch her after this. Spinsterhood in some dusty boarding house, that's her fate. Eliza, hidden in the corridor, with her aunt's forgotten herbal pouch clutched in white-knuckled hands, absorbed every word. Her pulse thundered, but her face remained a mask of still resolve. For a decade, she'd been the thorn in their side the family's unwanted moral compass. She'd exposed forged claims on sacred native lands, testified against Elias's cronies in those brutal assault cases that left women broken and silent. Her questions had unraveled profitable schemes. Her truths had toppled alliances. Now, she understood the cost. Banishment disguised as betrothal. The judge leaned back, puffing on his cigar. Silas Blackthorne will love this. His old man died bitter after Eliza's meddling dismantled their mining fraud 2 years ago. Silas inherits the grudge and the muscle to act on it, destroying Blackwood while ridding us of our problem child. Elegant. If Blackwood doesn't discard her, Lydia pondered, her eyes wide with feigned innocence. Abigail's smile was colder than a desert night. Then she's as burdened, exiled to that wasteland ranch. Too far to poke her nose in our dealings anymore. Eliza set the pouch down silently, her composure a fortress. Tomorrow, they'd announce the joyous engagement, expecting tears of gratitude or meek submission. They would be sorely disappointed. She straightened her spine, dark eyes hardening. In a world where corruption flowed like the Colorado River, she had learned to wield honesty like a blade. Wyatt Blackwood had wrested his 60,000-acre spread from Arizona's brutal frontier, with nothing but sweat, lead, and unyielding will. The land was a savage beauty, canyons etched by ancient floods, mesas baked under relentless sun, Where monsoons could flutter oils in a flash and droughts could turn grass to dust. He built it alone after losing his brothers to Apache raids and claimed jumpers. The isolation gnawing at him like a persistent wound. Loneliness, bone deep and relentless, had driven him to propose marriage sight unseen, craving a partner to share the burdens and the rare triumphs. As the dusty stagecoach creaked to a halt before his adobe ranch house, Wyatt stepped forward, hat in hand. The driver, a grizzled old-timer named Hank with a scar across his cheek from a bar brawl in Tombstone, unloaded a single battered valise and helped down a woman in a faded brown dress. No family escort, no trunks of finery, just her. Standing tall amid the swirling dust, Wyatt offered his hand, noting the calluses on her palms, the vigilant sweep of her dark eyes across the horizon. Like a scout sniffing for ambush, she wasn't the vision of refinement he'd half expected, not like the polished belles in town, with their parasols and simpers, but there was a quiet fire in her, an unyielding posture wrapped in unpretentious wool, hinting at resilience forged in harsher fires than his own. "Mr. Blackwood," she said, her voice steady as a leveled rifle, "my kin deceived you. I'm not the prize you sought, the beautiful one, the suitable one. I'm Eliza." "What now?" Wyatt appraised her, seeing not disappointment, but depth wisdom in those eyes, buried strength in her stance. A flicker of curiosity stirred in him, unexpected and warm. "Supper first, Miss Thornton, and a clean bed. Dawn brings clarity to most things out here." Her features softened with a flicker of surprise, planting the seed of tentative trust. As Hank tipped his hat and spurred the team away, muttering about family feuds thicker than blood, Wyatt carried her valise inside. The house was sturdy, but sparse hand-hewn beams, a stone hearth, the scent of pine and leather. Over a simple meal of beans, cornbread, and venison stew, Wyatt probed gently. "Why send you truly? Judge Thornton's no philanthropist generosity in his blood." Eliza paused, fork midway to her mouth, the weight of secrets pressing on her. After a long silence, she met his gaze. "I question their shadows to often dangerous truths that threaten their empire. Forged deeds, beaten witnesses. They see me as a liability." Wyatt leaned back, his mind turning. Her honesty was a rare coin in these parts, where lies bought land and lives. That night, as stars wheeled overhead, sleep evaded him. She was an enigma, this woman thrust into his world, and already he felt the pull of something deeper than pity. Midnight shattered the quiet when a venomous rattler slithered into the barn, its fangs sinking into Wyatt's prized mare, Starlight. The horse's anguished whinny pierced the night. Wyatt bolted from his bed, lantern in hand, but Eliza was already there, sleeves rolled up, improvising a poultice from dessert herbs she gathered on instinct, yucca root and prickly pear, mashed into a salve. "Tourniquet here," she directed calmly, her hands steady as she drew out the venom. Starlight shuddered, but survived, and Wyatt marveled at her frontier savvy, learned from remote homesteads where doctors were mist-dot in the lantern's flickering glow. Eliza pointed to the shadows. "Your eastern fence is sabotaged, deep gashes, fresh bootprints from heavy riders, not locals. Someone's scouting." Wyatt's blood chilled like a sudden squall. "How do you know?" "Silas Blackthorn's grudge lives on. My testimony sank his father's mining scheme. Now he targets you. And my family baited the trap with me." From her valise, she produced a concealed Derringer pistol, its pearl handle glinting. "I'm here to fight, not flee." Over the next days, Wyatt discovered layers to Eliza, her skill in marking trails over barren rock, decoding deceit in men's eyes with a glance, brewing remedies that mended what bullets broke. She worked alongside him and his loyal ranch hand, old Jeb Ramirez, a weathered Mexican vaquero with a mustache like twisted wire, and stories of the old Comancheria who eyed her with growing respect. "Segurita's got grit," Jeb muttered one afternoon, mending tack. "Reminds me of my Rosa, God rest her." Tension coiled like a spring on the third evening as they patrolled the perimeter, rifles slung. A sudden ambush erupted from the scrub rustlers, 5 strong, guns blazing. Wyatt drew first, his revolver barking in a savage duel, dropping to assailants in a hail of lead. His masculine grit shone through the gun smoke, body moving with the lethal grace of a man who'd danced with death before. "Cover me," he shouted, dodging behind a boulder.